This is a serial entrepreneur who everything he touches turns to gold. Give me like 45 seconds on your entrepreneurial journey.
I was in the Silicon Valley for 20 years. I've created and launched several different companies, sold a couple of my companies, one to Blue Lithium, then Blue Lithium was sold to Yahoo for $300 million. After that, we launched Radium One with a few of my friends. And from then on, came on to Emaze.
Okay, so we met about Emaze many, many years ago. But before we get there, the point is you've had one big exit. You've brought other companies to billion-dollar valuations. You know what you're doing. You're not messing around. That's just, I needed to set the stage here because so people understand you're not some like 16-year-old kid who doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, we're not going to talk yet about what he is doing, but as you know, generative AI is all the hype right now, right? If you're not familiar with generative AI, just kind of like, as we say, on one leg, doesn't exist. That expression doesn't exist. It should. But, generative AI isn't just another version of AI. It's a fundamentally different concept. And I've spoken about this before, but when you Google something, Google is crawling the web and finding the answer to that question. But when generative AI generates an answer, that answer that it just gave me doesn't exist anywhere. It generated the answer, right? Like if I ask generative AI, and I've done this, give me a thought on Torah comparing Moses to a tomato, right? Now that doesn't exist on the internet anywhere. And yet ChatGPT is going to spit it out at me, or Grok, or any of the other ChatGPT, all the other generative AI language models, right? So it's a different, it's a different thesis. It's a different concept altogether. But this is a really important point. So far, we all know of ChatGPT. We all heard of these things. And we've used them, and we enjoy them, and they're fun, and they're whatever. But how are they driving dollars and cents? How are they changing the business landscape? How are they changing the bottom line of companies? The answer is, with few exceptions, they are not. They are not. Now, again, we're going to try very hard not to talk about exactly what you're doing because it's too early for that. But explain to me the concept in terms of the visual aspect of sales, of marketing, of how visuals play a significant role in the workflow of any professional.
Well, as you just said it, visual sells a lot better than text. And what everybody are using today in ChatGPT and Gemini and so on in AI is mainly to generate text. What we've been trying to do is to generate images and exact images without having to hurt the market, the brand itself. Okay, so being exact on the marketing, on the branding, on legal, while actually creating it and having the brands feeling comfortable using our product.
Okay, so very interesting. And again, we're walking the line here because we don't want to disclose too much. But I will say like this. This is really significant in my opinion, because the one thing we can all agree on, no matter who you are, no matter where you're watching this, the one thing we can agree on is we have too much noise in our feeds. There's a lot of noise, right? And one of the results of that noise is that if I'm a company, it really doesn't matter what type of company I am, I can acquire users. I could use Google, I could use Meta, I could acquire users. It might cost me more money, but I can acquire users. What I can't acquire is retention, right? I can't make a customer stick around. Now, I'm putting aside the whole branding aspect because that's why I believe in branding, because good branding creates retention, right? But if I'm Coca-Cola and I'm paying, $1 for you to use my product, and tomorrow, or I'll say even simpler, if I'm paying $1 for a can of Coca-Cola, great. But if Pepsi comes along tomorrow, assuming Pepsi's as good as Coca-Cola, and offers me a can of Coke for 99 cents, I'm out of there. I don't have any loyalty to Coke. I don't care. He's giving me for 99 cents. I'm out of here. So the holy grail of any company is to figure out a way to create retention, or said in a different way, to get people to give a crap about what I'm doing, get people to care, get people's heart pounding, get people to feel something, brand sentiment, right? That's the name of the game. Now, we all know the famous, a picture's worth 1,000 words. We know that. We know that we're visual creatures. We know that we react to visuals much more than we'll ever react to words. So if someone, hypothetically speaking, could harness the power of visuals, right, to not only increase sales, but to increase retention, it's game over. It's game over, right? game over, by the way, I'll let you talk. I know I'm cannibalizing, but
No.
it's game over not only for the customer, but it's game over for the brand. And the reason it's game over for the brand is because it puts them one step ahead of all of their competitors that are doing things the way they always did. Sorry, yeah, what were we going to say?
Right. So you're absolutely right. But you have to keep in mind that before retention, you actually have engagement, you have open rate, you have click rate. So what we're able to do is actually, in order to get to that retention, we're able to increase the amount of engagement. So people actually engage with the content even before you get them as a customer.
Right.
Just before, when they're leads, that's when you want to get the most out of them. So your funnel will actually be wider.
Right. I mean, if you think about this, if you think about it, and I speak about this all the time because it's so interesting to me. Like, think about conversion rates, right? You know, ads, right? We're all basically blind to ads, but you know, if I as a company can somehow get to like, I don't know, 3% conversion rate, I just cracked it all. Like 3% convert, that's 97% failure. Like the market has just like, you know, just grown to accept things that are so subpar, that are so ridiculous, right? Why have we not figured out a way in all of these years with all of these companies? I mean, Google's whole business model is this. Why have we not cracked a way to get people's attention in a way, not to trick anyone, to give them what they need and to increase conversions and, like you said, the funnel in a significant way, not 3% to 3.1%, but actually speak the language of consumers in a way that we bring them the information the way they want to receive that information, which then leads to, of course, you know, the bottom line.
Exactly. So everything you just said is, okay, you can sum it up in one single word, which is personalization. And this is what we do. Personalization means that, you know, people need to relay to what they're seeing. And what they're seeing is the visuals.
Right.
So what we're very good at is creating a visual for each and every person to relate to be able to click, to engage, and to convert.
So I love the fact that we haven't yet said what we're not going to, but we haven't actually said what you do. But the concept is clear, which is, you know, I think about this concept of personalization all the time, right? You know, you go to a restaurant, you order what you want, right? You go to the doctor, your doctor's, you know, medicine is personalized for you. Everything in our lives is personalized. I'm thinking about, you know, everything we just said, and I realized that without knowing too much about what they're doing, it kind of sounds like, you know, you're becoming the next advertising or ad network, or not the case at all. There's a lot happening here behind the scenes that is leveraging what we know about advertising, leveraging what we know about sales, leveraging what we know about marketing, and operating in the intersection of those three things, using the tools that are out there now, that have just become out there, that have become available to everyone. And again, trying to walk the line of, you know, sharing as much as I can without sharing too much. But also, it's important to mention something here, which is that this isn't like a concept. This isn't like, oh, I have an idea. No. There are companies, not small companies, big brands, using the technology for, I don't know, how many months?
For 8 to about 10 months now.
Okay, so 10 months. And again, not a hypothetical concept. You're seeing like significant results.
Huge results.
Like, give me, without disclosing too much, like, what does that mean? How does that manifest? Where do you see the results?
We see the results in conversions, in more sales, in actual people that's coming into the showroom. We see a lot of amazing results, and we're talking about not by single percentage. We're talking about increase of double digits.
So now, again, not going there to tell you exactly what they do, but just think, you have here a serial entrepreneur. You have a couple of components here. You have a serial entrepreneur who knows what he's doing, right? He has a track record. You have technology as powerful and unprecedented as generative AI. You have pretty clear knowledge of what consumers want. You have brands who struggle to get those consumers what they want. These are 4 pillars that if somehow, hypothetically speaking, someone could have a little bit of a common thread between those 4 things, we're not talking about $1 million opportunity. We're not even talking about $1 billion opportunity. We're talking about disrupting the entire world of sales and marketing and advertising. We're talking about potentially $1 trillion opportunity. It's the holy grail. It's game over for everyone, really. So again, you'll hear more. Follow the guy. A lot of exciting things to come, and keep you posted, man. I'm very excited to see the product. Very excited to use the product. Maybe you know, maybe I'll use it. Maybe you'll make something for small businesses. I don't know, but I love it. Keep doing what you're doing. Exciting times ahead.